Now that we are finally in the year 2025, we are very close, hopefully, to the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2. This console has been in the works, in the talkings, rumors. There's been 3D printings leaked. Apparently, those 3D prints are real, based off of real concepts. There's been a lot of stuff that I've chosen not to really cover, mostly just because I really didn't want to talk about the Switch until an actual reveal. I don't want to sit here and I don't want to speculate. The Switch is my most used, most loved console ever. So I'd rather talk about official news when we get it. But there is a franchise that I've speculated about before on the channel that I will always speculate about. From the title and the thumbnail, you already know. We're talking about Pokemon again for 2025 because it seems like this year is going to be big. Now, before we get into the Pokemon specific news, there were two more articles that have been posted on Game Rant. I will leave them both in the description of this video. And remember, it's all really my opinion and I'm talking about an article, so I have my own biases. If you want to read the articles from yourselves and make your own opinions, please do that. It's preferred. So the first one is basically saying that there might be a difference in power from what leaks have told us to what actually happens with the Switch 2. Now, this Game Rant article goes into detail about how there's a new rumor that suggests that the Switch 2 could rival the PlayStation 4 Pro in terms of power, which would be insane in my opinion. The PlayStation 4 Pro is a pretty strong console, but I guess there have been previous rumors that have hinted toward this upcoming console being even more powerful than that in a more significant way, which I never read or heard of, but again, I kind of stay out of the loop with these things. And we all know that the Switch 2 is supposed to be announced before March of 2025. There's been a lot of rumors saying that it's going to be announced and revealed in January. In other words, in January, I hope so. But that this game's gonna, or that this console is going to be announced in January and then revealed and released in March. And I'm totally okay with it being as strong as a PS4 Pro. I think that's perfectly fine for something that's both a handheld and a docking system. And then apparently Nintendo has also patented a new feature or a important feature for the Switch 2 where it may feature NVIDIA's DLSS upscaling tech, which essentially helps games run at a higher resolution. I'm not a super big tech whiz on that front, so I'm going to leave both of these articles in the description. Do with them as you will. The reason I bring those up is because we have a new rumor from one of the leakers of all time, I'll say, Riddler Q. There's a whole long history with this guy in terms of Pokemon leaks. He's been hitting the nail on the head before, like a while ago, I think a couple years ago. Now he just kind of regurgitates information from what I can find. So again, take this with a grain of salt, okay? This is a big what if situation, but a lot of things make sense here. For one, with the Switch 2 being more powerful, I can definitely see them wanting to prove it with a franchise like Pokemon. Now, Pokemon has a long history of being very unwell optimized. Like, it's just not good. Gamefreak, for some reason, they can never fucking optimize their games, especially when it comes to a brand new console. I mean, X and Y for the 3DS was not optimized very well. There were parts of Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon the same, Sword and Shield, and then very obviously Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet were both just not optimized the best. But apparently, a new mainline game is rumored for the Switch 2 for 2025, and it's not related to Generation 10 or to Legends Arceus. This was something that I had thought of for a while. There are two reasons why I actually think this can be true, and I'll talk about it in a second, but essentially the speculation suggests that there's actually going to be new Let's Go games based in Johto or Pokemon Black and White remakes, which is something that we have talked about to death in the community for years. Now, another part of the leak might be teasing the potential existence of the multiplayer Pokemon game codenamed Synapse that a lot of people said kind of like Splatoon in a way, but Pokemon. And I believe that that was a part of the major Terra leak that happened recently that I covered on the channel. Apparently, this new game was not involved in that Terra leak whatsoever. Now, I actually can see this happening for a couple reasons. Apparently, Legends Arceus was supposed to come out in 2024, since the only major Pokemon thing we got this year was the TCG app. Apparently, Legends Arceus was supposed to come out this year, and it was pushed back, and it was delayed. And I can see them delaying Legends to be somewhat of a launch title for the Switch 2, but also being backwards compatible, and then them launching another mainline game this year. I mean, if I remember correctly, Legends Arceus was released pretty early in the year that it came out in, and then we either got something else at the end of the year or we got something like a couple months before. It would have made total sense to me if they would have released Legends in November of 2024 and then released either Let's Go Johto or the Black and White remakes, whatever they decide to do with those games, in March or April. It would have totally made sense to me. But since we didn't get anything, I think I almost said the popularity. I think the percentage of us getting 2 games this year instead of 1 isn't really out of chance. Like, it's not something that it's probably more likely than unlikely at this point, or it's at least a 50-50 flip. The reason I say that is because the Let's Go games are probably pretty easy for them to do. Johto is not the biggest, and they already have Kanto from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, so they can really just make a Johto game. And unfortunately, I could see them making a Johto game without incorporating the Kanto region, even though that would be a disaster. And if they did that, people would riot, and people would be me. I would riot. But I actually really like the Let's Go games in terms of the art style. I know the catching is super subjective. So every single person I've talked to feels differently about the capture mechanic. Personally, I didn't mind it all that much. It was a nice switch up, nice change of pace. But for Black and White, those are like my second favorite Pokemon games of all time. This is hard for me because the Johto games are my favorite. Soul Silver, most played Pokemon game. Pokemon Crystal, probably my favorite Pokemon game. But Black 2 and White 2 are right there. Love those games to death. But I can also see them going with the multiplayer game, especially because Legends EA is supposed to come out this year. That can be their one major like mainline game, and then the whatever the multiplayer is would just kind of be like a secondary thought. Not a secondary thought, but it would be like a secondary release, just like a way for them to have infinite money type of thing. I can definitely see the Pokemon Company and Gamefreak doing that. For me, it's weird because I would think that some sort of new game coming out in 2025 would be related to that huge Terra leak that happened back in October. At the same time, though, I can see them switching gears and kind of rushing a Let's Go game out. I don't know. It just fucking makes sense for Game Freak to do. But again, I don't really care either way. I think that both of them would be cool. I think that if we only get Legends ZA this year, that would be preferred, in my opinion, as long as they didn't rush the Let's Go or the Black and White remakes. As long as the Black and White remakes are not like BDSP, I will not care. I will not care at all. But it should be interesting. We should see, hopefully very soon, hopefully within the next week or two, we get some sort of reveal for the Switch 2. That would be awesome, honestly. It would be really good for the channel, but it would just be really good in general. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about these 3 articles or just the Pokemon news, or what you think the Switch 2, how strong you think it's going to be. Let me know all your thoughts about that in the comment section down below. While you're scrolling down there, you're going to see a like button, a dislike button, and a little red subscribe button. It has a bell on it. Go ahead. It's the New Year's, so we should celebrate. Hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell. I think that's important. If you like Pokemon, I am currently doing a Pokemon Sword Nuzlocke for the first time. I've never done a Nuzlocke before. It's currently the only thing I've been live streaming. I haven't live streamed in about a week. Planning on live streaming here in the next couple days. So we should be picking back up with that Let's Play soon. But there is a playlist on the channel for that Let's Play. If you want to see the first 3 parts and you want to see me get my ass kicked, it's been pretty fun so far. But anyways, again, I hope you all had a fantastic New Year's. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.